We're on.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the second game of this afternoon's soccer matchups here at the CCAA Women's National Championships. I'm James Wise. My broadcast partner, Scott Squires, had to step away for just a moment, so we're flying solo here in the treehouse, that being the double-decker bus we're broadcasting from this afternoon in Halifax. Just to give you a rundown on today's match, it'll be featuring the host school, the Dow Agriculture Campus Rams, and the NAIT Ooks from Alberta. Both teams suffering losses yesterday. The Ooks losing 1-0 to the Douglas Royals, and the Rams suffering a 7-0 defeat to Garneau late last night in the closing match of day one. Both teams looking to get underway with a win here on day two to keep their bronze medal hopes alive. Del AC on the left in white with the black numbers will be attacking the right-hand goal, moving under screen from left to right. The Ooks in dark blue with white numbers starting on the right-hand side, moving to the left of the screen. Both teams looking to get, like I said, a win here on day two. Ooks very nearly came up with one yesterday in the third game. Disappointing loss for them to Douglas in that first game yesterday for them. And it looks like it'll be Dow AC ball off the kickoff. Shanice Maxwell, number 7, the All-Canadian, leading her Rams from the whistle. Dow AC looks to advance the ball immediately, controlling it in the midfield. And that ball drift just out of bounds for an Ook throw. Ooks looked very dangerous in the third game last night. Were unable to find the back of the net, not for lack of trying. Many shots drifting to the side net. An excellent defensive game by the Douglas Royals last night to keep the Ooks off the board. And here they are already moving the ball down that right flank. Moan there. And the orange cleats, number 10 in blue for NAIT, trying to keep possession. It will result in a blue throw. Ball moved here by Dow AC, trying to find a pass, and they do find Maxwell at the point of attack. Ball slung over here to Cora Sharp, then dinged ahead. Sharp here making the run towards the 18-yard box. An early chance here for the Rams, and that ball will go just out of bounds, resulting in an Ook goal kick. Del AC looking much more comfortable this afternoon. Last night was not the easiest conditions to play in, I must admit. It was dark, cold, and rainy here in Halifax. Classic maritime weather for all the visiting teams. And ball played over here, controlled by Walsh of the Rams. And then again to Maxwell, who just plays Sharp a little heavy.
Oh, no!
It'll be an Ook throw. Kaylee Pepper on the throw here. Tries to get the ball down line to Mawhinney. Shielded out of bounds, and NAIT will advance the ball slowly. Pepper again looking for Mawhinney. Gets to the byline, puts the cross in, and that will be corralled by Nasser, the Dow AC goalkeeper in the neon green. And a punt there from Nasser, up to the left-hand side. Ball out of bounds here for the Ooks. O'Toole on the throw. Finds Moan. Moan learned yesterday is a very good 1v1 player. She was operating a lot on the left yesterday, but did demonstrate that she can function on both flanks. Good run coming here by Lingley of Dalhousie. That'll be cut out by the Ooks, and the Rams getting into an advanced attacking position here. Wiseman will make the throw here to Maxwell. Maxwell weaving, but gets the shot blocked, retains possession, puts it in, and it'll go just by the left side of the post. Ashley Chapeau in green for the Ooks playing goalkeeper. Pings the ball out. And that'll be a handball called against number 2, Danielle Lowther, for the Rams. Ball played deep by DeBlanco. Here's Sharp applying the defense. And Heimich there, regaining possession for the Ooks. Circled around to number 10, or number 18 rather, Lawrence. And then the ball played over to Moan. We saw her very dangerous yesterday, and that's one. Took less than 5 minutes for the NAIT Ooks to dirty the sheet of Dal AC. Kaylee Moan finding the back of the net there, number 10, in the bright orange cleats. 1-0 favoring the Ooks of the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology. Excellently dispatched there. The Ooks very aggressive and very direct, as we saw last night against their game against Douglas. Definitely want to keep themselves in contention for the bronze medal match later this week. And Dal AC responds immediately. O'Toole working down the flank. Nearly finds both Heimich and Sharp there. Both just a little late on their runs. And the ball will be corralled by Chapeau. Here's Pepper for the Ooks. She'll just play that one out of bounds. Dal AC appear to be sitting 5 at the back right now, but they will win a corner nonetheless and move their tall center backs up into position. I can see number 4, Katie Walsh, moving towards the 18-yard box as Shanice Maxwell gathers the ball at the corner flag. Here's the ball from Maxwell, and that'll drift harmlessly into the side netting.
Take your time on those. You gotta capitalize on those. Wait.
Chapeau from the goal kick. Sharp nearly getting contact there, but missing out by just a couple inches. And that'll be a foul against Raina Heimich of the NAIT Ooks, although it looks like that play will be reversed and will be a... No, I had it right the first time. It looks like the NAIT tried to take that goal quick, or that free kick quickly going as an offensive one. It'll turn the other way. And here's Katie Walsh to take the free kick here for Dal AC. Set piece is an area that Dal AC could really excel here. Walsh will put that on goal, but will be corralled by Ashley Chapeau. And the Ooks eager to push up quickly. Hemich in the middle finds Moan. Moan turns, feeds the ball down the line to Webb. Marissa Webb here with some running room. Tries to cut the corner, and she does. Now into the 18-yard box, weaving through. There's a shot, and it's number 2. Cassie Jay-Z nets that one for the Ooks. 2 goals in a little under 8 minutes. And the Ooks taking a lesson from the previous game, where Algonquin College ended up netting 5. The 2 of them very well could be seeing each other in a matchup for the bronze medal. Here's Jay-Z again for the Ooks. Now Moan. Moan tries to feed Jay-Z, but no good. Retained by the Ooks, though. Hamish.
Good ball, Raina.
And that shot there coming from number 18, Loins from NAIT. Sharp gets around Hamitt. She plays the ball into the middle. That'll be snapped up by DeBlanco. Plays it back to Sharp. Ball cleared there by Pepper. Just shy of the midfield line. Simon will take a shot at this one to get it clear, and she does. Back to the Dal AC defensive line. Walsh advances it now. Pepper can come and take the ball off of Maxwell's shin. A bit of a ping pong game in the middle of the park right now. Ball just bouncing back and forth among the teams. Knocked ahead there by Hakard. Here's Moan, plays Jay-Z on the simple through ball. Ball trickling towards the goal line, and a goal line clearance there by Dal AC. Dal AC's number 10, sorry about the delay there. Leah Wiseman coming up big for her keeper. That ball was trickling towards the goal line after Jay-Z's contact with goalkeeper Nasser. Excellent intervention from Wiseman there to prevent what would have been a third goal. Just under 10 minutes gone here in this first half. This is game 2 of day 2 here at the CCAA National Women's Soccer Championships. I suppose it's Women's Soccer National Championships. Neither here nor there. Here's Webb. Moving forward into the midfield. She tries to feed Mawini. That ball pinged out to the right-hand side, rather, of the Dal AC box, and it'll slide out for a corner kick. And it looks like O'Toole will report to the flag to take this one. She was planning on it, but it appears to be called off as Marissa Webb will head there instead. And the Ooks already filing in to the 18-yard box. So it'll be an early substitution here. Looks like Hakard may have picked up an injury. She will make way for number 19, I believe, Claudia Woodward of the Rams. Woodward checking in now and comes in defensive position. Ball played short, then knocked back to Webb. Sitting here on the 18-yard box, and a bit of a jumble there, but ball ultimately corralled by Nasser. Who will punt it away. Controlled by Rankin. Moved along the Dal AC back line and then snapped up by the Ooks. Through ball tried to get played there by O'Toole, but it just had a little too much on it. Prisk will find Lowther, who will be dispossessed now by Webb. Webb trying to find Moan. Moan dummies it to Jay-Z. Jay-Z will knock that off the leg of Kate Walsh, and it will be another Ook corner. Marissa Webb already having quite a bit to do from the corner flag this afternoon. I believe this will be their third or fourth corner of the day. Ooks looking very dangerous off set pieces. They choose to play it short again. That'll get sniffed out by Wiseman. Moan was there just in case. She'll take the throw, or actually she'll hand it off to O'Toole, who came up for the set piece. Flicked on by Moan to Jay-Z. Now to Webb. Webb slicing through the midfield and then puts that shot wide right. Nasser not remotely bothered. Nasser now opting to allow Katie Walsh to take goal kicks, and that's snapped up quickly by Mawini. Shot from Moan deflected there. Ball up in the air, controlled by Rankin. Rankin working against the defense, tries to get the ball ahead to Maxwell, but that'll be cut short. Ball now with Mawini for the Ukes. Loins having a little bit of a word with Mawini about the passing patterns. Ball comes back to the Rams in offensive position. Woodward with the throw. That'll be knocked out by Peppers to Webb. Webb, very calm presence in the midfield here for the Ukes. They get the ball out to Moan. Moan definitely not afraid to go one-on-one with players. She'll take on one and then two before getting dispossessed. Wiseman gets the ball out to the wing to Rankin. Rankin will then be dispossessed by O'Toole, but it will stay Ook ball. Ball bobbling around here. Rankin gets it ahead to Maxwell. She's got Sharp coming in on the far right. Sharp will get a touch on this, plays it back, and that'll be a shot from Langill. Sorry about that. Not quite the most threatening ball, and Chapeau gathers without too much difficulty and then punts it away. Here's Maxwell. Now Sharp to keep it in for the Rams. Maxwell gets it back and then Sharp. Sharp finds Langill. She tries to feed Maxwell, but just a touch late on the pass. Maxwell pressuring Pepper here. Maxwell dispossesses her and plays a cross in. Dangerous positioning there. Dealt with well by DeBlanco. Ball still with the Rams and then ultimately cleared by Simon. And Walsh in possession. Walsh with the nutmeg there. Comes to nothing for the Rams. It gets knocked out by the Ooks again. The Rams retain possession. Wiseman plays that one in. Blocked by O'Toole, who's battling now with Rankin. Referee will call the last touch off of Rankin, and it'll be an Ook throw. Just over 15 minutes gone here in the first half. Here's Moan. Retains possession. Dribbles through two defenders, goes for a third, and then passes it off to Jay-Z. Little heavy on the pass, but it's all right. Loins is there to recover. Ball drifts in behind Dalac defensive line to Moan, who tries to feed Jay-Z again. To no avail. Here's Wiseman. Going to take a run at the line there. Ball blocked by O'Toole. Loins in the engine room for the Ooks today. And here's Mawini. Clean turn. She'll try to slot this one in, and that is 3-0 for the Ooks. Alana Mawini with a good solo goal there. Quick turn past the defender, one-on-one with the keeper, and just slots it into the corner. Very good composed play there by the striker. Walsh now for the Rams. They're in a bit of a hole now. Possibly still shaking off the game from last night. Bit of a tough draw, I have to say, for the Rams. They played a tough Garneau squad yesterday evening, the #1 seed, in the last game of the night, and then had the second game here today. A shot by Maxwell, bobbled a little bit by Chapeau, but will fall harmlessly to the right side of the goal to be retained by the keeper. And as I was saying, the Rams had a late game last night and then an early game this morning. Definitely could be feeling a toll from that. Loins trying to find Moan, no good, but Jay-Z is there to recover. Jay-Z ball bobbling around in the defensive third for the Rams. And a good intervention there by a Dalac player on the ground, who's Moan, though. Top of the 18-yard box. Small passes to Jay-Z. Ball gets kicked out. No one running to it except for Wiseman of the Rams. Wiseman sees space, and she's going to take it. Tries to get the ball down the line to Rankin, and she does. Now to Maxwell. Go get pinged back into the defensive third, but played ahead by number 12, Dino of the Rams. Now Simon of the Ooks to play a little soccer tennis with it in the midfield. Here's Moan. Cuts one defender, looks for a pass, and will play the through ball down for O'Toole. O'Toole getting her horse, but it looks like Walsh already has the head start, and Walsh will just play that smoothly out of bounds for an Ook throw. Here's Jay-Z. Throw there coming from O'Toole, I believe. Jay-Z gets the ball in, and that was a shot from Loins. Got deflected there. Hamish, top of the box, will take a shot of her own, and that'll drift just wide of the goal. Probably 2 or 3 yards left. But this Ook team looking very dangerous so far here in the first half. Right around 20 minutes gone. Dal AC hasn't really been able to settle much into this game. They've had a little bit more offensive possession in the attacking third, but have really been stymied at the back here by these Ooks. Walsh clears the ball long to Sharp, who just misses her touch. Ball will fall to Kaylee Peppers. Sharp will not miss that touch, intervenes there, and it's Woodward versus Mawini. Mawini will get past Woodward, but knock the ball out of bounds as the defense was applied by Deneau of the Rams. Walsh again on the goal kicks for Dal AC. Struggling very much to get out of their defensive third here as Webb controls for the Ooks, and a good shot there coming from the the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology. Nasser cannot say she's not been tested so far this afternoon. Ball comes to Sharp now. Plays it to Maxwell. Maxwell feeds Sharp down the line. Tries to get to Rankin, and she does. Rankin to Sharp. Sharp moving the ball down the line. Shows a little bit too much of that to Pepper, and she will shield the ball out of bounds, then played out for a Dal AC throw. Good offensive connections here coming from the Rams. Link up play with Rankin, Sharp, and Maxwell. And Woodward will come up to take this big throw, the right back. Going to turn this throw into more of a corner, it would seem. Ball played in. Here's Walsh. Maxwell cuts it into the middle. Tries to find Rankin, but no good. Hamish is there to intercept, and now on to Moans. Moan finds Jay-Z. Jay-Z has runners. And it'll be a one-on-one with the keeper there, but Webb cannot find the bottom corner. Good save there by Nasser, reading the body language of Webb there and picking the right side, and she'll boot it away, only to be recovered by Hamish of the Ooks. A little bit of a battle in the midfield now. Ball moved up to Rankin for the Rams. Rankin plays it wide, and Prisk will not quite get there. Pepper now to take the throw, number 6 for the Ooks. Pepper with the long throw, trying to find Mawini. Mawini with a small flick onto Jay-Z, cuts it back into the middle for number 18, Loins. Here's Maxwell. Gets out to Prisk. Prisk back to Maxwell. Maxwell trying to boot it forward. That'll go off the leg of Loins, resulting in a Dal AC throw. I'm pleased to welcome Scott Squires back to the treehouse here in the double-decker bus.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you doing yeoman's service and stepping in and filling in for the first 22-plus minutes of this game between the Dal AC Rams, the host team, wearing the white and black, and of course the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, the Ooks, wearing those sharp-looking blue uniforms, those blue kits. And your score is 3-0 for the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology.
Just to give you a recap, and for the fans at home as well, Scott, the way we got here is an early goal by Moan, from the right-hand side, followed up by a goal by Jay-Z and then Mawini, if I have that order correct. Early goals very quickly by the Ooks. I believe they scored all 3 within the first 15 minutes. And Moan here has another chance that'll be blocked by Nasser and then forced out by the Rams.
So the Ooks off to a quick start, getting that 3-0 lead. And kind of as we saw in the previous game with the St. Thomas Tommies, you know, it's not unexpected to run into some of these teams that you know are going to be tough. But you've got to try to play through it and get as much nationals experience as you can. And sometimes playing against an opponent that is just simply better across the board does nothing but actually help your game and to make you better as well. So it can be a learning experience. Certainly that, pardon me, is much of the case here. But the Dal AC Rams are not going to give up on this. They're going to keep pushing forward. And you know they would love to tally a goal here and to put somebody on the score sheet. Working with that ball is Shanice Maxwell. She was the player of the game yesterday. Played exceptionally well. She gives way, though, to Loins. Into the backfield, this is Simon. Over on that far side, working with it there is DeBlanco. Working it up toward midfield, turned back aside by the Rams. Making a run now down the left side. Coming over there to challenge is O'Toole. Here's a chance. Can the Rams feed it over? And thinking about making a run was Prisk, as she thought that her teammate might be able to feed her the ball across the face of the goal, but couldn't get it to her. Now back the other way, a chance. Jay-Z thought she had it in there, but just a little in ahead of the play and offside.
That has been one of the big areas of improvement that Dal AC has made from their first game to the second, is the link-up play from the midfield to the strikers. We've seen Maxwell sitting in that striker position. We've seen Rankin, who's there now. We've seen Sharp kind of shifting up there at times. The linkage that those players have had so far has been very good, and I think that's definitely an area that they've improved on from yesterday and shows good signs that they could get a goal here this afternoon. Here's
Moan trying to run onto that long lead from Jay-Z. Moan, the two 10s come together. Moan for the Ooks and Wiseman for Dal AC. It'll be a corner kick now for number 10 in blue, Carly Moan.
An interesting change there. They had Marissa Webb taking all the corners previously. Moan now stepping up to this one. And a free header there goes by the wayside by Loins. She'll be thinking about that one for a couple days to come. Flashes of glory going by the wayside.
Keepers for this game, just as a reminder, Summer Nasser in goal for Dal AC and Renee Chattergoon. Here's a quick shot and they score, picking that low corner laser beam, and it's number 4, and it's a 4-0 lead. I believe that was Marissa Webb, and she absolutely hammered that ball. Nasser guessed right in terms of direction, but that absolutely was addressed into the back corner and beyond the outstretched fingertips, and it's 4-0.
This is looking an awful lot like that Garneau side match of late last night. I was mentioning that perhaps, Dal AC had the late game last night. Don't have a relatively early game today. Quick turnaround matches for them this afternoon. So maybe a little fatigue setting in for the Rams. I know that I didn't play any soccer last night, and I'm exhausted this morning, and I can attest to you, we're both feeling it after day one, and like I said, we didn't play any matches.
Ball worked back, and that was just a beautiful strike. And again, just about maybe 6 inches off the ground and absolutely labeled into that lower corner. Quality strike, and it's 4-0. Just about coming up now to the 29th minute here as we work our way through this first half. From the back line, it's Simon. She works it over to her back line mate, DeBlanco. DeBlanco with a long ball through, trying to get Jay-Z up the middle. That didn't work. Comes off the head of Webb, and now it's sent right back up again. Ooks turn it right back aside. Here they come with some pace again. Long ball through. It's onside. Trying to get there was Mowini. Just a little bit beyond her. Right idea, just couldn't complete it on the back end. Now it's Pepper. Pepper working well down that left side, stepping around the defender Woodward. Pepper tried to work it to the middle. but it's broken up, and the Dal AC side will work it away with Dino. Up into the air again. Dino takes it smartly off the chest and clears it out of play. And that's, I believe, hit number 3 on the bus.
That may have even come in the back door. It looked like it was on the right trajectory. I asked our head volunteer if we were short ball boys today, and he assured me no, we weren't. So maybe the quality just dropped overnight. Who knows? But that is number 3 for the day, striking the bus.
We might have to get one of the keepers who weren't playing to actually play goal in front of our bus.
And that'll be 5, it looks like.
Well, speaking of playing goal, a tough position right now for Summer Nasser, playing goal for the Dal AC, as a 5th tally goes up on the board, and the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology not playing very friendly visitors to our home side, host team of the Dal AC, as they've got their goal-scoring cleats on today, and they've put 5 on the board.
I think NAIT might be letting off a little steam that they, may have held up overnight after that loss to Douglas. Dal AC playing in the similar colored jerseys to the ones that Douglas played in yesterday when they beat the Ooks 1-0 on a 72nd minute goal, I believe. So very late there in that one, and the Ooks not happy to have given up the bronze-silver chances on the first day, or the silver and gold chances, pardon me, on the first day. They've got to now play for bronze, and they're sending a message to everyone else in the bronze category that they are not a team to be pushed aside.
So the Dal AC side, a tough go here, no question about it. It'll be up to Jackie Ryan, the coach of the Dal AC team, to kind of rally the troops here and to get them not too far down or hard on themselves, being down by 5. And at this point, you'd think they're just kind of going to be watching that clock and really hoping that they can get to halftime just to kind of exhale and regroup here and give Jackie Ryan and the coaching staff from the Rams 15 minutes just to kind of talk things over.
That being said, it's a long way to halftime still, a solid 15 minutes. These Rams they don't look tired, but they just look a little bit unorganized. And I think that, yeah, a good halftime talk, get everything, structured again, could benefit them. We've seen Walsh now moving from the back line into a defensive midfield position, and Sharp moving back to center back. Walsh, of course, a threat aerially and putting her foot through the ball. Seen some good free kicks from her this afternoon.
Well, again, the Dal AC Rams, hey, they're the host. They're representing their conference. They're representing their home province of Nova Scotia and, of course, their school. They're not going to give up. They're going to keep playing. But as we mentioned in one of the games yesterday, they're human. And it's human nature to sometimes have that little bit of a sag or a little bit of a letdown when you're looking up at the scoreboard and seeing what the score is. And here's another chance and a good defensive play as Jay-Z came in there. But again, it's human nature just to have that bit of a letdown. And watching the body language of some of the Dal AC players, you can just see that they've kind of, shoulders are sagged a little bit, and they're, kind of feeling what's going on right now.
It's been a tough couple of weeks for Rams fans, no doubt about it. They went into the CCAA tournament ranked number 1. They had received a CCAA national ranking at that point as well. Looks like we have an injured player down here. That'll be Prisk for the Rams. She's just going to get some attention. But like I said, at the ACAA tournament, they suffered an early loss to my team. Matter of fact, King's College went to 23 total penalties, 13 rounds of penalties to separate those two teams. And after that long of competition, to lose on something like penalties is a heartbreaker to begin with. They managed to make it into the tournament as the host, and then, of course, last night suffering what I think we could call I don't even know what you would call last night's game. It's on the similar track to the one we're watching now, but let's just say it being so starkly outperformed by Garneau, it does leave a bit of a bad taste in your mouth as a Rams fan, having gone from 2 weeks ago being ranked nationally, ensuring that your ticket was punched for nationals, going into the ACAA tournament ranked number 1, expecting a gold medal there, and then kind of just slipping up a little bit and catching some bad luck down the stretch. And I believe, man, these Rams jerseys are hard to see from across the field.
Well, you were right the first time. It is Morgan Prisk in her 4th year out of New Glasgow, so she's going to head over to the sideline and get some attention, and they will sub in for her. So Prisk will come out, and it'll be Eliza Leach who will come into the game. So hopefully Prisk will be okay.
Clutching the back of her neck a little bit. I know that the trainers provided by Self Physiotherapy are top-notch people. We had the pleasure of working with several of them during our season. They took excellent care of all of our athletes, and we're really lucky to have them here at this tournament.
Well, I know that they grow them tough down there in Pictou County, so the young lady from New Glasgow, I'm sure, will do everything she can to get back out there. But you're absolutely right. Top quality physio and medical attention here, so she'll be well looked after. The Rams have to forget about the scoreboard and just play to the game that's in front of them. Here's a long ball through, that's going to bounce, and Nasser will calmly take that and just walk it up. We'll see who on the Rams might try to maybe corral some momentum here and get it going the other way, but Mawhinney settles that down now, and it goes over for Loynes. Trying to get a through ball there. Here's Jay-Z with a low shot there, bouncing off the hands. Good save, tricky shot. And Nasser handles that ball that was along the ground off the foot of Jay-Z.
Not sure if that's where Jay-Z intended to place it. She opened up the hips, looked like she was going to curl for that back right post. Ended up going near post. A well-struck hit, very low, very hard. No, difficult for the keeper to handle, no doubt about it. Maybe could have found a little bit extra space at the back post. Moan looks like she'll be over this one.
Curled in toward the box. A couple of players go up into the air, and it goes off to the side. It'll be a goal kick for the Dal AC. And as we saw yesterday, in this particular instance, Nasser will give way to one of her teammates to take the goal kick.
She'd begun the game taking her own goal kicks, and to be honest, I didn't think the distribution had been that bad, so I'm wondering if maybe she has a little niggle of an injury, perhaps a groin strain or hamstring strain. Our goalkeeper, Sam White, this year had a knee injury that didn't prevent him from playing goalkeeper. He's a heck of a goalkeeper and was an excellent shot stopper, but when it came to taking the goal kicks, he just didn't quite have the leg, so we would deputize with one of our center backs or wide backs in that case. So not a completely unheard of thing to have a defender take your goal kicks for you as a keeper.
Rankin, pardon me, tried to make a run off that feed coming forward. Nothing happening on that effort, though. They'll try to regroup. It was Leach who put the ball through. That ball came out toward Leach for the Rams, but it went off the Ukes player, Reina Heme. Throw in now for the Rams, Claudia Woodward.
Dangerous ball there by Woodward. And Walsh not afraid to take a crack at that one, and why should she? Just a little wide of the upper right-hand corner. We've seen her drill it from distance before.
And actually, speaking of the young player Claudia Woodward, wearing 19 in white for the Dal AC, I got a tweet yesterday from Jennifer Woodward. I'm not going to assume the relationship, however, given the last names, I'm assuming there is a connection there. Mentioned where she was from yesterday. It's Sammamish. I think it is Sammamish, Washington. And according to this tweet from Jennifer, it's a city just outside of Seattle. And Claudia came to the Dal AC from the United States, but is actually Canadian by birth. So thank you for that, Jennifer. We appreciate it. The power of social media.
Where would we be without it?
It makes, I'll tell you what, it makes on-air guys like me almost look smart at times.
Good ball here by Moan, and that'll be a free header. Hits the crossbar, bobbles around there.
Cleared away nicely. Getting a foot on it there was Maxwell. Kind of good dexterity to get that left foot up and clear it away. Trying to make a run down the far side now was Rankin, and it just goes out of play.
And it looks like the head official coming back to take a look at Nasser here. Clutching her shoulder or neck, a little bit of concern maybe here. Oh, nope. They're just checking on the goalpost, actually. Nasser was still clutching her shoulder. That left shoulder there, but appears to be fine. Apparently some bodies collided with the left post, knocked the goal a little bit out of place. That shows you how hard these girls are playing this afternoon.
So the AC will throw it in. Rankin took that off the knee. They'll work with it now. A little through ball there, getting chased down by DeBlanco. Coming up now, pardon me, to almost 39 minutes played in this first half. A very comfortable 5-0 lead for the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, the Ooks, wearing the blue. The Western visitors enjoying themselves so far in this first half. And not so much for the Dal AC, although they continue to push and continue to work hard.
Rankin particularly has been, just a jackrabbit up top for them, running right, left, checking back when needs to, making the long ball runs when necessary, trying to get some offense going for the Rams.
Rankin. Speaking of Northern Alberta and the province itself, Rankin, who wears number 3 for the Dal AC, a third-year student out of Edmonton. So probably fairly familiar with the conference and the school, Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, being an Alberta native. Up into the air, kicked forward there by Walsh. Katie Walsh did a nice job, and then returning the favor is Simon. Jay-Z has it now at midfield. Nice through ball there, trying to send Mawhinney away. Now it's a foot race, Mawhinney and Sharp. And Sharp does a good job of pushing that ball to the outside and getting it up for Pepperdine. Pepperdine chips it up ahead, trying to connect with Rankin, but it's sent all the way down the other end of the field. Jay-Z against 2 defenders now, works it back.
I do have to say the front 3 for the Ooks and the center attacking mid, Webb, have a very, very good understanding of communication. That's Mawhinney, Moan, Jay-Z, and Webb. 4 of them can connect well on passes, and really, we've seen overlaps from them, we've seen through balls from them, we've seen tiki-taka passes within 2-3 yards from them. Definitely a threatening 4 to play defense against, I'd say.
Sounds like a formidable law firm as well when you say the 4 names together.
Perhaps that's in the future for these these Ooks. I'm not sure if NAIT has a law program. Perhaps they do. Although I suppose it's a tech school, maybe that's not quite their focus.
Well, their focus right now has been goals, and they've got 5 of them. Here's another ball crossed in off the foot of Pepper, and Mawhinney right in on top of the keeper, and then flying over top of her own goaltender was Hackard. Everything looks okay as Nasser is back up.
The ball just put long again by Nasser. Trying to swing it through the middle, but that'll be snapped up by the Ooks. Recovered now by Shanice Maxwell.
Nate at midfield, ball ahead there, tried to connect with Moan. Rams recover. Up along the line there for Leach.
Simon swings over to DeBlanco. Sizing up the pass, and will hit a long ball here.
Goes out at the far sideline. Ball put in play, goes off the head of Cora Sharp and right back out over the sideline. Just a couple of minutes left here in this first half. Scott Squires, James Wise, your commentators. Our technical producer today is Brian Fisher. We are glad to be bringing you Day 2 action from Halifax, Nova Scotia. We're at Mainland Common, and you are watching the 2017 CCAA Women's Soccer Nationals.
So a few minutes shy of halftime. Seeing the clock around 42:30, so not much further to go here before the first half will conclude. Maybe a couple minutes of stoppage time as well.
Simon tried to push that through, gets it over to the side. DeBlanco calmly plays it up there, tried to find one of her mates along the sideline. That didn't work. Rams, now here's a lead ball. That's going to be just a bit too far perhaps, as getting there first will be Mia Simon.
I think Simon expected to just play that out of bounds off Rankin, but Maxwell had other thoughts in mind.
Ball up toward midfield. Jay-Z thought about leaving it there and then seeing the opening. It was Dino who stepped into it. Veronica Dino there anticipated that ball well. Twisting there was Wiseman as he tried to get a foot on it, but it goes out of play.
It'll be interesting to see if NAIT will continue to push here in this last couple minutes. Maybe just settle for possession, but it looks like they've got more goals in mind.
Wiseman. Long ball forward, calmly stopped by Pepper. Pepper steps around one person and now gets it up ahead there. Little chip through by Moan. Cross ball in off the foot of Loynes as Loynes went in deep and put it right across the front of the goal, but it goes out the other side. And this NAIT team, so far they've shown the ability to turn what looks like maybe nothing into something with a couple of quick passes.
They've been very dangerous off set pieces as well. Moan going to go retrieve this one to the corner flag. 45th minute here. Keeping an eye on that fourth official across the way to see how many minutes he's going to signal for us.
Well, we did have one or two stoppages or... Oh, off the crossbar. Header, another chance there. And the first one went crossbar straight down, and I believe it was Mawini, 21 in blue, who was able to get a second head on it and put it into the goal. The first one, and you talked about the set piece and the prophet you were there as the set piece resulted in a great chance on goal. The first one beat Nasser, hit the crossbar, but as is often the case, the crossbar came straight out to another offensive player, and it was Mawini who got the head on it and tucked it in the goal, and that is 6.
I believe it was Loynes with the first one. Like you said, Mawini very alert to be on the ball when it came back out. That's a poacher's goal. Dalac going to try and use this last minute of stoppage. Only one added. Here's Walsh.
Puts it through, and that's no problem for Chattagoon. So 6 on the board in the first half. An offensive explosion here from the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology. And it has been a technically sound performance by this team. And here they come again. Working in with it there is Moan. Making a couple of steps. Mawini now wide open, trying to get to the left, then the right. And kind of off-footed the shot and didn't get it away cleanly. And perhaps that's a good thing as the half comes to an end. But what a half it was for the NAIT Ooks as they tally 6 and have really put a gigantic mountain to climb in front of the Dalac Rams. Quickly, your thoughts on that first half, other than the obvious?
I mean, it's been all Ooks almost all 45 minutes. Pretty impressive performance there. You know, we see Mawini just miss hitting there on what would have been the 7th goal. I don't know if they knew what the Garneau score was from last night, but if they have any, you know, if you told me they were trying to match or beat it, I don't think I'd call you a liar. Dalac, it's been it's a rough half. You just want to forget that happened. You know, it seems like we said that a lot last night. They've got at least another half to play, though. There have been promising moments. Like I said, I am quite convinced that one of the areas that their coaching staff addressed was, you know, offensive link-up play. And we have seen some better shots. We saw, you know, shots from Shanice Maxwell, some from Katie Walsh there at the end. And I think if they keep doing that, there's no reason they can't find the back of the net this afternoon.
Well, 45 minutes have been played, and the NAIT Ooks made use of all of them as they tally 6 goals. And after one half of play, it's NAIT 6 and the Dalac Rams 0. We'll step aside, take a break. Second half action in about 15 minutes. You're watching the 27th.
I'm a third-year student at the University of King's College, and I am center back on the King's Women's Soccer team. The team is sort of just like kings in that it's a really wonderful community to be a part of. All the girls are really supportive of each other, and we have a lot of fun together, which is great. We play well on the field, but we're also friends off the field, which I think is really important.
Josh Kester. I'm studying Earth Sciences and I play center back. I played soccer all my life coming up here, and the Kings team is pretty strong. They have a pretty good athletic program. It's awesome.
I'm a third-year student at the University of King's College, and I am center back on the King's women's soccer team. The team is sort of just like kings in that it's a really wonderful community to be a part of. All the girls are really supportive of each other, and we have a lot of fun together, which is great. We play well on the field, but we're also friends off the field, which I think is really important.
Josh Kester. I'm studying Earth Sciences and I play center back. I played soccer all my life coming up here, and the Kings team is pretty strong. They have a pretty good athletic program. It's awesome.
I'm a third-year student at the University of King's College, and I am center back on the King's women's soccer team. The team is sort of just like kings in that it's a really wonderful community to be a part of. All the girls are really supportive of each other, and we have a lot of fun together, which is great. We play well on the field, but we're also friends off the field, which I think is really important.
Josh Kester. I'm studying Earth Sciences and I play center back. I played soccer all my life coming up here, and the Kings team is pretty strong. They have a pretty good athletic program. It's awesome.
Second half just underway of our Game 2 here. The Dal AC Rams, the host team from the Atlantic Conference, taking on the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology from, of course, out west from Alberta. And it's been all Ooks. To this juncture, as we just get underway in the second half, they tallied 6 in half number 1. So I'm sure if you're Carol Holt, the coach of the Ooks, kind of like, well, that went well, so let's kind of keep doing much of the same. And on the flip side, I'm not 100% sure what the message from Jackie Ryan, the head coach of the Rams, would have been, but I'm sure it would have been something along the lines of, you know, let's keep playing hard, stick to your game, try to break through, and just enjoy this experience of playing an obviously very good team at a national event.
I mean, that's true. It's they talk all the time in the Olympics. You know, you think about how many athletes go to the Olympics, and for every event, 3 of them medal. You know, when you think about how many 100-meter runners there are that you know qualify from the various nations, 3 of them medal. Part of the experience is really being here at these games, enjoying the experience of, you know, being at a national championship, visiting Halifax, which obviously may have a lesser impact for the players from Truro, just being down the road. But it's you know, enjoying that experience, making those memories, and that's something that you can't really apply a score line to. Again, we had a player slip on the concrete. Every time I see it, it just it's hard to watch every time because they don't expect the fall and then they just wipe out. But yes, it has been all Ooks. Dal AC, I'm sure, looking to try and keep the sheet clean here in the second half. And I think we had some Ook substitutions. They're trying to keep their roster fresh for the games coming up later this weekend. And that ball just out of bounds and being an Ook throw off the goal kick. Tossed in here by NAIT. Bobbling around, and looks like it'll be Mulwinny. Not sure there, kind of to get the read on the jersey. And it'll be played behind by Sharp for a corner kick. And we saw right at the tail end of last half that this team can be very dangerous off corner kicks. A lot of rotation, though, coming in their lineup. Looks like it'll be Haish will be over this one for the Ooks, but a big stack of blue jerseys in the 18-yard box.
So corner kick coming. Curled nicely in. Getting ahead on it first was Walsh for the Dal AC Rams. And then grabbing that ball quickly was the keeper Nasser to hold on.
It was a free header there, could have very easily been picked up by a second Ook player. Good command there by the goalkeeper Nasser to take control of the situation. Rankin tried to keep that in, couldn't quite do it. Go the other way with the blue jerseys.
Little flick off the head there from Haley Peter. And Morgie will give way to her teammate Vanderberg. And down the line comes Mulwinny. Mulwinny tried to work around Wiseman. Wiseman did a good job there of creating some interference.
Now, just keeping the Ooks off of the corner flag is really an accomplishment in and of itself. I think that on many occasions they'd settle for the corner flag rather than continue their run in on goal just because they're so deadly from those set positions. And again, it'll be out for an Ook throw.
Throw in. Goes off a couple of legs. Mulwinny tried to move it forward but can't. Getting a foot on it there was Peter. And it goes to the goaltender Nasser, and she'll just run it up and send everybody heading back up the field. Didn't get that kick too far as it was picked off there by Morgie, and it goes right back to the keeper Nasser.
We talked last night about how there would be some growing room, or at least a hurdle that Dal AC had to contend with other teams didn't maybe need to worry about, partially it being the field. Dal AC plays on a short and wide grass field, Not very similar to the perch we're on right now, which is substantially longer than their home field, and of course is an artificial surface. I have to say, coming from Tennessee, I feel very at home at the Dalles C field. I hadn't really played on turf much before I moved to this country, so I can attest that the changeover is not one that is smooth. It takes a little getting used to when you switch surfaces so substantially.
5 minutes, a little more than 5 off the clock. Long shot in, and that just kind of kept going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny. And it finally just ended up into the arms of Summer Nasser, the Rams keeper, who just kind of cradled the ball and held on. But that long shot in just kind of kept going. Here's Wiseman now trying to get it up to Walsh.
Walsh has really shifted around everywhere. We saw her sitting as a defensive midfielder last half. Now she's taking a more advanced role even into the center mid slot, trying to get further up the pitch for the Rams, and this ball clipped.
That ball bouncing right at the goal line, and again Nasser very active, very aggressive here in the early stages of the second half, kind of really taking control from her goal line. That goes off the head of Lothar. Comes over on this near side, and it just bounces beyond Vanderberg. Quick throw in now for Wiseman. Wiseman gets it to Peter, or excuse me, to Hockard. NAIT wins that ball away, though. Working with it now is Heme. Up there for Moan. Moan gets turned aside. They'll try once again. Directing traffic there. Tried to get it up ahead for Peter. Turned aside. Back the other way comes Shanice Maxwell. Maxwell tried to get it up for Rankin. Now it's Loins.
A little bit of wire crossing there. The through ball got played to Peter when she wanted it to feed. When she wanted the through ball earlier, they played it short. So the center mids and strikers just going to need to coordinate a little bit better for the NAIT Dukes. Like I said, there's a big lots of turnover in their lineup after that first half, giving some players a rest before their games later this weekend.
Ball goes down to Mia Simon, and she just gently kicks it out of bounds.
Bit of a miscommunication there as well. Walsh thought that there was someone further down the line to retrieve that. There wasn't. No, just drift out harmlessly. Walsh now here to take the throw for the Rams.
Well, on that sideline, little shoulder thrown there by Shanice Maxwell in the defender. A little bit of physicality from the Rams player.
Maxwell's going to stand over this one. She hasn't been stellar from set pieces so far this tournament, but in the league I can attest that she has quite a bit of talent from a dead ball position.
Curves that one into the middle, trying to get ahead on it there. Tricky play. Can they get it in their goal? So close, the Rams trying to dig in, and they can't get it home. My, oh my, that's as close as they've come in a game plus, and they just couldn't get the finish.
Now on the other end, though, the counterattack for the Ooks.
And it was all started. Katie Walsh had the initial chance, and then a mad scramble. Bodies twisting, turning, flying everywhere. The keeper, Chattergoon, out of position, but the Rams just couldn't find a way to push it over the line, and back the other way, as you say, come the Ooks once again. But all of the players and fans for the Rams holding their collective breath as they were that close to breaking the ice.
Looks like Nasser will corral this one again. It was a good offense for the Rams there. I think that they can identify set pieces, a position where they can really take advantage.
Ball just in front of our broadcast position here, goes out of play with Rankin giving chase.
The ball cleared, popped around here, and aggressively contained by the Rams. Good run there by Weissman, but it'll drift out of bounds.
And normally I wouldn't mention this, but I have to give you some extra props, James Wise. I'm feeling quite under the weather today, having to take many opportunities to remove my headset for a moment and deal with the grips of this head cold that I'm dealing with. But you've done great work in filling in, and again, I wanted the viewers to know that I'm not taking breaks because I want to. It's because I have to. And James, you're doing a great job of picking me up there, buddy. Having my back. Thanks.
It's my pleasure. It's been a great pleasure working with you so far this tournament. We got plenty more to come. Can't wait for those gold and bronze matches, particularly later this weekend.
The ball played across by Simon. Kicking up some of the rubber from that field turf there as that ball was laced forward to Ballum. Kennedy Ballum turns away, and they'll just work it to the back line and then push it all the way down the field. Over into the middle for Morgie. Morgie makes a smart little turn there, tries to get it up ahead, and she does. Nice play for Peter. Peter takes it in deep. Wiseman there defensively. Breaks it down. Morgie came in for a look at it. So a close chance, but good job defensively by the Rams to collapse and protect the front of that goal.
Well, Scott, speaking of thank yous, I think it's appropriate that we thank the athletic directors and departments at both schools and the hospitality staff that they provided for us at this tournament. We just went down and had a little bit of lunch in the lower level of the double-decker bus, and really these folks are the ones that are keeping all of the gears oiled and the wheels turning at this tournament. And we're really lucky to have such exceptional staff backing us, for this weekend, really putting on a great show in the Atlantic provinces.
No, I certainly second that. Throw in now, Vanderberg. Taken off the chest there by the AC player, and then Vandenberg just kind of lofts it in toward the goal, and it goes in behind.
Not sure she got the contact on that she wanted. It's almost like she sliced across the front of the ball from right to left, leaving it a little bit to the outside of the net rather than drilling it dead on. Looks like Walsh here will be deputizing at free kicks or goal kicks again.
It's about 13 minutes or so have been played here in this second half. A very comfortable lead for the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, the Hooks. 6 goals, all coming in the first half, as they just really hit their stride, and now they'll come down once again, working the ball in, intercepted there by Cora Sharp, and it goes on a play.
Pace of the game slowed a little bit here. Dal AC, I think, being more methodical in their offense. The press of the Ooks has stepped off a little bit. Although we can't forget that the cleanest scoring opportunity that has come this half has been by the Rams.
Should remind folks that we still have 2 games yet to come on our schedule today. Championship semi-final games at 3 o'clock Atlantic. It will be the Grand Prairie Wolves taking on the Saint-Lambert Cavaliers, and then shortly after that at 5:30, our final game of the day, we'll have the Élan de Garneau team out of Quebec taking on the Douglas Royals. So a couple of good games still to come here on our live stream presentation from the CCAA 2017 Women's Soccer Nationals.
All undefeated teams, we might add. Those are the 4 that got wins yesterday. Some were close, some were not so close, but I expect we'll have 2 very exciting games coming after this one.
That ball lifted up toward midfield, but then sent right back in. And at this point, with the end result more than likely going to stay the same, which would be a NAIT victory. You never like to say it's over before it's over, because sport is a strange thing and odd things can happen when you least expect it. But all that aside, at this point, if you're the Dal AC Rams, and here comes Mawhinney now, we'll finish that thought in a minute. Mawhinney, right foot I should say, into the corner, and Mawhinney, calm, cool, and I don't know if she could have been more collected than she was there. She came in, head up, didn't rush the shot, took a look, made sure she didn't have a defender too close to her, and then checked out where the positioning of Nasser was, and James just calmly slid it into the back corner.
It's a striker's goal. Reads the pressure, reads the movement of the goalkeeper, exposes that back right post, and then just uses the right foot to curl it in the bottom side netting. Very, very well dispatched there by Mawini. I believe that's either her second or third on the day. To be honest, it's been hard to keep track of all the goals scored by the Ooks so far this afternoon. But talking about Dal AC, I think we were saying kind of what now it's 7 rather than 6. What their game plan is. I would say as the host school and as a developing program, the focus should kind of be getting what you can out of this tournament. They're going to get experience, absolutely. They're going to get the memory and honor of going to a national championship, 100%. I think if you can come away with a goal, that's going to make all the difference in the world. I was talking to a buddy at halftime on the men's team, and we were kind of talking about South Africa in the World Cup in 2010. South Africa was the first African nation to ever host the World Cup. They drew an actually relatively tough group stage, and they didn't win a game. I think they may have drawn one, but they did not win. They didn't really have any hope of advancing. But the goal that they scored was so exciting, not just for the country, but for the continent as a whole, that it really made the whole tournament worthwhile for them. And I think that could kind of be what Dal AC is looking at right now. I can say as an athlete in the ACAA, nothing would make me happier this afternoon than seeing Dal AC net one.
Well, and to that point, that would be wonderful. And as we mentioned with St. Thomas earlier, the other Atlantic Conference school, just getting here and getting this experience is going to be invaluable. This Dal AC Rams team, 10 players that are either first or second year. So all things being equal, the core of this team should be together for the next few years, and they should be able to call upon this national championship experience to only help them grow and to make them better. And there's an adage in sports that is used at every level, team and individual. You've got to lose before you can learn to win.
Right.
And your comments about the World Cup in South Africa, much the same here. This Dal AC team and St. Thomas as well. Great learning experiences for these programs, coaching staff, and players to be able to learn from this, grow from this, and to take it forward and to only make their programs better.
And I just saw there, Katie Walsh checking back. There's some down heads, hunkered shoulders on the AC squad right now. Just giving her teammates a pat on the back, because it's a game. We're not professionals. We're not getting paid to play soccer. I was talking to my brother earlier this year, and he kind of said, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. And I think that's what the ACAA and CCAA is all about. It's about enjoying sport regardless of the scoreline. And so I think that these girls from Dal AC, they got to go out and embrace the opportunity that they have here to play at a national title. And at the end of the day, to a certain extent, the score doesn't quite matter.
Well, that's what's going on. I mean, the Dal AC, they've got to play to the game that's in front of them. You can't look at the scoreboard. And, a good job by Maxwell. One of the leaders on this team. And for her to kind of pick up her teammates and to remind them of just that, well, that's what a leader does. Maxwell is a local product from Truro. Again, Bible Hill just right next to Truro. She's a fifth-year player, a senior, and that goal in the back of the net. And as I'm talking about the leadership from Maxwell of the Rams, more leadership from the Ooks as they tally one more.
I believe that was Haley Peter for the Ooks there. She came in as a halftime substitute. And speaking of substitutes, Mawini is going to make way for the Ooks to bring on, I can currently see as number 12, Riley Bridges for NAIT. That'll be a like-for-like swap up front for the team from Alberta.
Well, the beat goes on for this Northern Alberta Institute of Technology squad. 6 in the first, 2 more here in the second, and still plenty of time left to go.
I think this will exceed the Garneau score from yesterday evening, and so I believe NAIT now boasts that they have scored more goals in the tournament than anyone else.
Well, as we go down the stretch here, final 25 minutes or so. I guess what we have to wonder is how many will the Ooks get, and will the Dal AC Rams get one? That ball up to the sideline, knocked down there and out of bounds as Hackard got there. The throw in went off a Dal AC player out of bounds. Another throw in. They'll do it all over again. Headed smartly there by Sharp, but just went off the side of her forehead, not out of bounds.
There's been good sorry about that, Scott. I was saying there's been good support coming out from Truro as well. Being only though they are the host, and they're only an hour away, they've been very good in support. Lots of fans making the drive up. We're happy to see that. St. Thomas fans as well, really, for both Atlantic teams who had good representation here at these games.
No, it's good to see, and it's been even more so today. A little more pleasant weather, obviously, but it's nice to see the fan support. And I know for me, you know, having children myself, if I were here watching my daughter out there play, you know, you mentioned here earlier how the score doesn't matter, it's about having fun. As a parent or family member, as we see a nice shot in on goal there, for me, yes, it would be nice if they won, but for me as a dad, I would just be so happy watching my kid play. It would make me delighted to see them out there being part of a team atmosphere, sharing this experience at a national tournament. As I joked with the St. Thomas coach earlier, you know, when he was talking about the game last night, and I said, you know, I've had an opportunity to be around a lot of university, college, and minor amateur athletes over my career of doing broadcasting. And a lot of times if I see a team, and as we see the Ooks come in again, long shot there, going to be tough, they score! From distance, what a strike! Just over the outstretched hands of Summer Nasser. And another on the board for the Ooks as they just continue to come like water rushing downhill. Sometimes, as much as you want to stop it, it can be difficult.
It's Haley Peter again, really making her mark on this match. The substitute coming in at halftime has 2 quick goals. It's definitely showing that if there be need for a substitute up top for the Ooks, she's more than happy to deputize and can do so quite successfully. I think you were talking about, you know, the role that the pride you have as a parent to be able to watch your child come out and compete at this level, and it's, you know, a lot of these kids, you know, I guess they're not really kids, young adults, probably started their soccer journeys many years ago. You know, we're within 100 meters of the Soccer Nova Scotia Developmental Center. I was in there last night in between games, just trying to get some feeling back in my fingers and toes, and you know, they're kids in there. They're 8, 10, you know, they're there in their uniforms and their parents are dropping them off because they're playing soccer, you know, they're having fun, and that's really the culmination of all that hard work, all those years of dedication, all those parents driving you to tournaments and practices. It's all for something like this.
Exactly, and to kind of top up on that and finish the thought that I was going with there just before the Utes scored their most recent goal, you know, I've had a chance to talk to so many different athletes at levels like this, and you'll talk to them after a difficult loss in a regional, national event, and they're disappointed, and I'll say to them, you know, in a little while this won't feel as bad because, you know something, you've just played in one more national tournament than I did. So I know it's tough in the moment, but my goodness, what an accomplishment to say that you played the best of the best in a Canadian national tournament. That's just a wonderful thing to be able to take away. And again, just to go back to the parent side of it, if I'm a parent watching my kid, I'm beaming with pride because my kid's playing at a national event on a team sport and out there competing. So there's lots of positive things to take away regardless of the score. There's no doubt about it. And, you know, it's great that the Ooks are leading and they're going to have a chance to potentially play for a medal, but for the Dal AC, again, just great experience, and they're only going to grow from this.
Ooks now tallying 9, 20 minutes to go in this one. I really didn't think that we'd see double-digit goals at this tournament. You don't usually see it.
Here's a chance now. Rankin, can she get it in on goal? She rolls it in, and forced to make the save is Chattergoon.
Rankin's had a couple good shots quietly in the second half. I think that's her third in the last couple minutes. Really kind of urging this Dal AC side to get a goal.
Well, it would be nice. Rankin has worked extremely hard, not only in this game, but in the game yesterday as well. If she were rewarded with a goal, it would be great. And here's a chance now as Morgie was looking for a goal. She's trying to find the score sheet.
I suppose there may be some stat padding that we could see for the Ooks a little bit. Lots of players getting on the score sheet.
Ooks now will work that ball toward midfield. Coming back with it is Ballin. Gets it back to her teammate Vandenberg, who sends it up for Morgie. Morgie in a good battle there with Sharp. Morgie wins the day there and gets it over now for Ballin. Another 1v1 battle down in that corner. Good job there by Wiseman. Wiseman's played well for the Dal AC Rams, number 10 in white.
She's protected that corner flag well, prevented the Ooks from getting too many corners in that section, and also tried to shut down that flank attack on the right-hand side.
Quick ball in, taken quickly across. They're trying to get set up for another chance now. Out it comes there. Long-range blast off the foot of Megan Loynes. Just goes wide to the side of the goal.
Loynes kind of looking down disappointment. I don't think she hit that the way she wanted to. It just looked like it was off kilter, right off the impact. Always was going wide, not quite striking through the ball. A little bit of a delay here, but Walsh will get the free kick away, or goal kick away rather.
Moves it forward. Ball out toward midfield. Just one Rams player there. Slid along the turf. Hime got it up forward. Ooks will look to regroup again. Ball into the middle. This is Peter. Gives it off. Tried to get it back, but it comes over on this far side. There's a quick shot and a nice save by Nasser as the blast came in there. And a good save as Nasser had to completely outstretched and got a hand on that and makes the save, and a good one.
The shot came from a fair bit of distance, had a good whip on it as well. Good save there, strong hands by Nasser. 15 minutes or so to go left in this one.
There's Wiseman. Morgie, kind of in between. Playing a game of Ook in the middle. I guess the singular of Ooks would be Ook. Is that acceptable? I'll have to check that.
I mean, I've never really heard of an Ook before this tournament. I've been informed that it's a type of owl.
That is correct. That is actually the mascot. You see the logo on the Ooks merchandise, and it is a very foreboding-looking owl.
A little heavy on the touch there from number 2 Ballum for the NAIT Ooks.
So it will indeed be a victory for this team from Northern Alberta. They will move on into a seeded game tomorrow.
Because if I'm not mistaken, the winners of the losers bracket today, so last game's winner Algonquin and NAIT, will file in against the losers of this afternoon's game, and those 4 teams will play it out for the bronze, and the 2 winners of tonight's games, who will be undefeated after 2 games, will play each other pardon me, in the final on Saturday for the gold, if my understanding of the bracketeering is correct.
I believe you are correct, but again, I'm going to call in the accounting firm of PricewaterhouseCoopers as well as an abacus, and we'll do all the permutations and the math, and we'll figure out who's playing where. But I think what you're laying down there sounds just about right.
I will say I much prefer the NCAA basketball tournament in that March Madness has it figured out. You got 64 single elimination.
Yeah, you just bracket it up and away you go.
Most exciting time of the year.
And it still amazes me how President Barack Obama is so good at those brackets.
Every year.
Yeah, he's I don't know if it's knowledge, luck, or a combination of both, but I've seen the brackets that he fills out, and he quite often is operating at a pretty high percentage in terms of making picks the right way.
I believe that the offer still stands that anybody who fills out a complete bracket that's 100% correct, Warren Buffett will give them $1 billion. Maybe it's only $1 million. I think $1 million's a little bit more accurate. But of course, no one in the history that we have has ever filled one out to perfection.
I'm going to try it this year.
You're going to try it this year?
Sure, why not?
This is it. I can feel it for you. This is the year.
Great. I'm going to take that confidence and move forward and fill out my bracket. Wiseman plays it back. Dal AC Rams dearly, dearly would love to tally a goal here and to have something positive in terms of a goal and to take that clean sheet away from Renee Chattergoon.
That's true. Chattergoon has held on to, held the AC Rams scoreless so far. Only let in one last night against Douglas, and it was a heartbreaker for the Ooks late on. Like I said, a 72nd minute goal there by Douglas. Pushed them through to the gold medal semifinals.
We talk about experience, you know, the young players in the first and second years on the St. Thomas Tommies and the Dal AC Rams, the two Atlantic Conference reps. Conversely, you go down this Northern Alberta Institute of Technology roster, third year, fourth, another 3 third years, a fifth year, 2 more fifth years, a third year. So a veteran-laden team, heavy with third, fourth, and fifth year players. And you can't discount the difference that extra year or two of experience will make at a national event.
Well, absolutely. I mean, there are standout rookies, but speaking from experience, you, to a certain extent, you just can't prepare yourself to play at this high a level, because if you had prepared yourself, you would already be playing at this high of a level. Teams with veteran rosters tend to do better across the board. You know, this year in the men's side, the Holland Hurricanes had a very, like you said, veteran-laden roster, led by their captain Ibra Sano, who had been a 4-time All-Canadian this year and actually turned out to be Player of the Year in the CCAA. And it really does make a difference when you have players who've been in positions where maybe you're down 2 at halftime, down 3 at halftime, you know, nursing a 2-0 lead and really need to be defensive. Having people who've been in those positions before can make and break, you know, results in games. And having strong leadership, I can account for, you know, the 3 leaders that we had on our team this year as captains. It made a huge difference at the back defensively and just all across the board, having someone who had played for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and really pass their experience on to the younger guys. That's something that you can't really get from a coach. You can't really get, you know, on a YouTube video or from years of playing, you know, at the provincial level. You got to be with the team and have that leadership within the team to really understand it. And it looks like there'll be a double substitution here. Moan coming back in for the Ooks to replace Loins, and didn't quite catch the jersey. I believe that's 12 coming off for Dal AC, that being Bridges. I'm sorry, that being Deneau, and 18 checking in. And luckily we have, oh, and Pepperdine, sorry about that. Pepperdine checking in for the Dal AC Rams. About 10 and a half minutes to go here in the second half. And the Ooks tried to keep that one in. It'll dribble out of bounds. And Dal AC starting to move up the field a little bit, still sitting 4 back. I would have expected them to start throwing bodies into the box, but not quite. And wait a little bit longer before going for the Hail Marys. Long ball here from the Ooks played in. Sharp will put a head to that, but it'll be recovered by the Ooks. Shot on, and it's near post, saved by Nasser. That one was going right at the post. Nasser shaking the left paw there. May have gotten slammed into the metal. It will result in a throw-in for the Ooks. Number 17, Vandenberg, taking this one for the Gals in blue, and that'll be played right out of bounds by Wiseman.
Wiseman came over there and got a foot on that quickly, and you talked about some All-Canadians. We've got a couple of All-Canadians in this game. Megan Loynes from NAIT, named to the All-Canadian squad, and one of the other players in this game, Shanice Maxwell. I think you referenced her yesterday, but the Dow AC Rams player and All-Canadian as well.
Booted out here by Nasser. It'll be retained by the Ooks. Moan sitting in a deeper position than we usually see her. I think she may just drop in that center mid, give Lawrence a rest, and kind of control the tempo. The Rams moving, or the Ooks are moving it up quicker here. There's Moan with the touch. And Rankin tries to control that, but plays it just out of bounds. And it'll be an Ook throw on the left-hand side.
Unofficially, under 9 minutes left to play. And never say never, but I can't imagine that perhaps the match official won't take somewhat the score into account here when considering added time.
We did see something similar with the Stew score yesterday, or so we thought. It didn't appear there was any stoppage time added there, but ball movement here by the Ooks. That'll play out of bounds and go to play out of bounds off the Rams and be Ook ball again. Wiseman really shutting down this left-hand side of the defense for the Dow AC Rams. Haven't really been able to get anything going with her marshaling the lines back there. And here she is shielding the ball again. And it'll be a foul by number 2 from NAIT. Ballum on Wiseman, just a testimony to Wiseman's diligence there, marshaling the back line. She's not the tallest player or the biggest, but she seems to have her trade pretty much down to a science.
And I know that you referenced the CCAA Men's Championships taking place out in Nanaimo, British Columbia, and the team that we mentioned earlier from the ACAA, the Holland College Hurricanes, playing today against the Algonquin Thunder on the men's side, so a good matchup there. Apparently a rematch of last year's bronze medal game, which was a 6-4 victory by the Algonquin Thunder, so should be a good one going out there in Nanaimo.
I must say I watched a little bit of the stream yesterday, because when we finished at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, whatever it was, they were still in the middle of the games out there on the West Coast, and the weather looked very nice. People were in short sleeves, and you know, it was sunny, and the trees were all blowing in the wind, and it didn't look not maritime-y, so to speak. That being said, we've been really blessed with the weather today. Partly cloudy, and I'd say right around 10, 11 degrees here in Halifax.
Yeah, it hasn't been so bad at all. Fairly seasonal, maybe a tiny bit better in terms of temperature-wise for this time of year, the 9th of November. Walsh tried to get some good distance on that. Knocked down. Here comes Moan. Moan speeds by one Dal Ram player. Puts it through the legs of Wiseman. Nifty little play there. Getting it up ahead there for Morgie. Morgie got stopped. Tries to go in after it. Now coming out is Vanderberg. Vanderberg had to go overhead, and trying to stop it at the line was Rankin, but she couldn't keep it in.
I would say that Nate was going to ease off a little bit, and it looks like there might be some blood on a jersey here. That was a quick shot from the hip is what was going on, but I see the referee taking a look at a wrist there. Maybe a little bit of blood, maybe not, but apparently nothing too serious. They're just going to let the game continue.
That ball put in, taken by Moan. She slides it neatly ahead, but it was intercepted there, and the Rams will turn it back the other way. Up ahead for Rankin. Rankin tries to turn at midfield, but Pepper stepped into her and sprinkled a little bit of defense. Comes right back. Moving it forward there was Hame. Through ball now, trying to get it onto the foot of Ballin. Ballin from a sharp angle, kind of stumbling there underneath the defense of Walsh, and it'll go out.
This is really crunch time for Dal AC. Right around 5 minutes to go. If you want to get one, throw the bodies forward, as they say. There's nothing really left to left to play for in this one, but pride, and I think getting a goal would go a long way for the Rams this afternoon.
And I think it's worth mentioning as well, as we are now almost through our 6th game complete through the first day and a half. One of the biggest compliments you can pay officials of any game is that you don't notice them. And for the most part, I don't really think that we've noticed the officials all that much. So a tip of the cap to these CCAA officials for doing so far a really, really good job of kind of not being noticed and keeping a good, consistent rule of law out on the pitch. So good job by the officials. They don't always get the credit that they're due, but I think that thus far they've shown themselves very well.
By extension, I think that that's a function of the class of play that we've seen. There's been 1 card, I think, produced in the 6 games you've seen so far, and when you think about some of the score lines you've seen, it's sometimes incredibly hard to be down 9 goals. And I think it's easy to become, let's say, less classy when you're down by that score margin. I think that the class that Dalhousie and St. Thomas and other teams have showed, even when they're in a losing position, is a testament to the Atlantic provinces and all of Canadian soccer, really, that we keep it clean despite the score lines and all those. Just play with class and play with courage.
Well, Canadians are just classy and courageous anyway. That's just the way we are.
That might just be like, this may be one of those things where, like, man, by this time in the States, somebody would have, like, totally hit somebody. And maybe it's just I'm not used to the kindness of the North yet.
Working that ball forward there was Heme. Sent down. Getting the side of her foot on it there was Kira O'Toole. And it goes out at the sideline. So just a few minutes left here in this one. And we'll wrap it up, and then we'll make way for a couple of more games. 2 more to be exact. One coming up at 3 o'clock Atlantic time, to be followed by the final game of the day at 5:30 Atlantic. But again, a couple of very important games. And we'll double check it for you between games. But to your point, I believe that
looks like Grand Prairie, they're filing out of the locker room area now. I have to say they look pretty intimidating. They all have matching red backpacks and really cool uniforms.
They will be playing in that 3 o'clock game, 3 o'clock Atlantic. Grand Prairie Wolves taking on the Saint-Lambert Cavaliers. The winner of that game, again, we'll double check, but I believe the winners of the next 2 games advance directly to the championship final on Saturday. So all kinds on the line in those 2, no question about it. Expect the intensity to be ratcheted up just a notch.
Moan here on the corner for the Ooks. 88th minute, or 89th minute rather, but they're still going to go for it. I'd expect nothing less from the squad.
Out it comes there. Stopped by Wiseman. She'll move it up to Rankin. Rankin had the right idea. Tried to put that ball through and let Shanice Maxwell run onto it. Comes down right in front of Heckard. She couldn't win the ball there, but it comes back, and now Shanice Maxwell takes it off the chest. Nice little chip up. She again tried to spring Rankin. Turned aside. Right around 60 seconds officially to go. We'll again see what the match official decides to do in terms of any added time. There's a through ball. Morgie tried to get the foot on it, couldn't stop it. Wiseman will chip it up along the line. Smartly kept in there by Pepperdine. Pepperdine takes a couple of steps, tried to get it past Moan and couldn't. Moan now comes back the other way. Some good footwork there going between the legs of Wiseman. Deft footwork. And Moan tried to cross it in but had it knocked down. But that was a nice looking run there for a few moments by number 10 in blue, Kaylee Moan.
And we talked about Moan in the first game. She's not afraid to go one-on-one with people because she has a really good 1v1 skill set, and that was it on display right there.
Turning with it now is Heme, gets it back to Vanderberg. Back to the native of the Philippines. This is Simon, excuse me.
I'm looking, the 4th official doesn't even appear to be picking up his board, so perhaps they've just decided to forego stoppage time. 5 seconds left on the clock, and the referee's going to call it there.
Well, 3 blasts of the whistle, and my humble opinion, but a good decision to not go with any added time. A very complete performance, to say the least, by this Northern Alberta Institute of Technology side. The Ooks come out, they tally 6 in the first, 3 more in the second half, and nothing that the Dal AC could do for the most part to stop the onslaught that was this NAIT Ooks team. Dal AC give it everything they had. They did not stop. They kept going. They did all they could, and probably about 3/4 of the way through this half, they had their best opportunity of the day, and it's still kind of mind-boggling how it didn't go in. It seemed to be just waiting there to have somebody push it in, but credit to the Ukes, they cleared it away. They kept the clean sheet for Renee Chattergoon, and it'll go down in the books as a convincing 9-0 victory. And as we get ready to wrap up here, James, your final thoughts on this matchup?
I think the biggest takeaway, and it's good to see this across the whole tournament, but we watched both of these teams yesterday, and I think both teams improved from yesterday to today. Obviously, the Ooks they scored 9 goals, so they possibly you could say they had an easier opponent today than they did yesterday, but they looked like a more complete and cohesive unit. Excellent movement up top, particularly by their 3 strikers at the beginning and the attacking midfielder Webb. By the same token, Dal AC had more offensive cohesion as well, and they did just barely miss out on that opening goal for them at this tournament. I'd say based on that performance, I wouldn't be surprised if they find the net later this week.
Well, we've got a great matchup coming up at 3 o'clock Atlantic time.